I think your party, Daniel, are being incredibly foolish at the moment, taking part in all of these kind of televised arguments. I don't know what they're trying to achieve. You can reach the leadership, the membership base with a variety of hustings. You could do separate conversations. I don't see how your party is going to fare well off some of these.
Well, I think what you've got to start with is that British democracy is a pretty rough and aggressive sort of thing, and all the better for that. And any idea that all of this should be done elegantly behind closed doors, I think, is anti-democratic and anti our tradition. I do agree with you that the Conservative Party has launched itself on a precarious course. Getting rid of Boris and the way in which he was got rid of was not a good look. And then you go into an election and people shout at each other a bit too much. And I agree that, it doesn't all look great. But there's something very important going on here that people haven't really picked up on. For the first time in 20 years, we've got leading conservative politicians actually having a serious argument about the economic policy that this country should follow. We haven't had that because there are real fundamental differences between Sunak and Truss on where the economy should be going. So if you can listen through all the rubbish about earrings and loafers and shoes and actually listen to what they're arguing about, and I think a lot of people are listening to it, there's a really important debate going on. And the direction our country takes is going to be affected by who wins that.
But
I'm supporting Truss.
I find this really peculiar. I'll bring Jo in a sec, because when I listen to some of the conversations that have been had in these debates, when I listen to you, when you say, this is really interesting economic conversation being had, the Tories have been in power pretty much for, 12 years now?
Yeah.
And when I hear people saying, we're having the conversations that we should be having, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, it's almost like people are acting like there's this brand new clean slate. What have you all been doing for 12 years?
Well, the economic situation has changed dramatically over the last year, and how we react to it is the solutions that we had, and that we, indeed many of which we shared with Labour, with Gordon Brown and Tony Blair, those solutions, in my view, aren't fit for purpose anymore, and we need different types of solutions. Rishi Sunak doesn't agree with that. That's a fair point of view. And the fact that that should be debated now in these changed circumstances of war in Ukraine, galloping inflation, high prices for inputs to the economy and for important things like food and fuel and so on, the fact that we're having a discussion about that, and post-COVID, which nobody had predicted, and the effect that had on the economy and on government finances, it's not surprising that you might want to think about having a different economic approach.